There is a great financial digital asset war going on right now between nation states. They're all trying to accumulate as much digital assets and digital asset infrastructure as they can. You would only know about this if you pay close attention to Bitcoin markets like I do. So pay attention, watch this whole video. By the time most people realize what's going on, it will be too late, at least for you to change your life through cryptocurrency. I'm really glad that you subscribed to our channel. I'm going to update you. Like the video. Let's start here. The US government is shuffling around and moving its Bitcoin holdings. They're trying to do this in stealth. We can take a look at on-chain data, known US government wallets. They're not reporting this, but we see what's going on. The United States government is currently the largest geopolitical holder of Bitcoin. I'm going to repeat that. The US government is currently the largest geopolitical holder of Bitcoin. 200,000 plus Bitcoins are under control of the US. Now, I actually think there are very rich Middle Eastern countries right now who are vying to be greater than the US in Bitcoin reserves. But we'll get into that later in the video. Right now, back to the US. Is it possible that they're getting ready to sell this Bitcoin? That is possible. I think that would be a bad move. It would be very smart of them to keep their Bitcoin holdings and even add more. This is something Donald Trump is promising to do if he's president.
For too long, our government has violated the cardinal rule that every Bitcoiner knows by heart. Never sell your Bitcoin, right? Never sell your Bitcoin. And so, as the final part of my plan today, I am announcing that if I am elected, it will be the policy of my administration, United States of America, to keep 100% of all the Bitcoin the U.S. government currently holds or acquires into the future. We'll keep 100%.
We'll talk about Harris in a little bit.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
Anyways, this marks the largest high-profile transfer by the United States government of their Bitcoin holdings. In total, the US government holds roughly 200,000 Bitcoin, valued at approximately $12 billion at the time of writing. And most people don't know this. The US government, apart from Bitcoin, also holds roughly 50,000 Ether, valued at approximately $130 million. So anybody who tells you they know exactly what the US government is doing with this Bitcoin, you're going to have to ask them to prove it, because the fact is, we don't know what the US has planned. They could be self-custodying it, they could be selling it, they could be trying to generate yield on it. I tend to think by the next presidency, the US will have a more defined Bitcoin plan. Because America is not number one when it comes to a digital asset Bitcoin plan. The fact is, America is not number one. Before we talk about this, I actually want to bring this to your attention. Norway is making moves when it comes to Bitcoin. This is undeniable. Norges Bank, the central bank of Norway, owns over 1.1 million shares of MicroStrategy stock. This is a way for them to own Bitcoin by proxy. This is basically like buying a Bitcoin ETF. And the Central Bank of Norway is doing this. Imagine if the Central Bank of the United States owned MicroStrategy stock or the Bitcoin ETF. This is exactly what this is like. Is that it when it comes to Norway? No, that's not it. The fact is, Norway's sovereign wealth fund, Norway as an entity, as a country, owns Bitcoin by proxy in a number of different ways. And actually, Norway's sovereign wealth fund has boosted its Bitcoin holdings to 2,446 Bitcoin amid growing investment trends. So Norway is actually buying more, and this is how they're doing it. They're taking greater stakes in Bitcoin companies, specifically MicroStrategy, specifically Marathon Digital, specifically Coinbase, specifically The Block. Why? Well, it reflects Bitcoin's growing significance in diversified investment portfolios. It's just best practices when it comes to investing is their reason for increasing their Bitcoin holdings. It's not because they're big Bitcoin believers like Michael Saylor. The reason they're doing this is just because it is best practice investment strategy. Their MicroStrategy investment grew from 0.67 to 0.89. Their Marathon Digital investment grew from 0 to 0.82. Their Coinbase investment grew from almost 0.5% to 0.8%. Their Block investment rose from 1% to 1.2%. And looking forward, the expansion of Bitcoin holdings by the Norwegian central bank signifies Bitcoin's growing acceptance and prominence in the financial ecosystem. As more investment portfolios start to include crypto assets, Bitcoin is poised to cement its role as a fundamental component in diversification strategies. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. This is the kind of stuff that we talk about, we share with you all the time. The mainstream media never covers this. We do. This is why you subscribe. Let's talk more about this. Putin signs crypto mining law, advancing Russia's bid to seize the moment in digital assets. Russian President Vladimir Putin has signed a new law advancing crypto mining regulations, marking a significant step in Russia's efforts to capitalize on the digital asset economy. The law, reported by Russian news agency TASS, builds on recent legislation passed by Russia's lower house of Federal Assembly, known as State Duma. It further defines and regulates key concepts including digital currency mining, mining pools, mining infrastructure operators. I wish America could go this far. It's not perfect, but it's a huge step for Russia to make. Under the new regulations, only Russian legal entities and individual entrepreneurs registered with the government will have the right to engage in large-scale crypto mining operations. However, individuals who do not exceed energy consumption limits set by Russian government can mine digital currency without registration. President Putin recently stressed the need to promptly create a legal framework and regulation for crypto, develop infrastructure, and establish conditions for the circulation of digital assets. I wish Joe Biden would say something like this. This law appears to be a direct response to that call, positioning Russia to potentially become a significant player in the global crypto market. And so the elephant in the room at this point, because crypto should not be partisan, the elephant in the room is Kamala Harris. Joe Biden is anti-crypto. Now, she was Joe Biden's vice president, but that doesn't mean Kamala has to be anti-crypto. Donald Trump used to be anti-crypto. I hope Kamala puts out policy soon that shows us that she's not anti-crypto. And think about it like this. Crypto could get a boost from younger, tech-savvy Harris administration. As Harris continues to climb in the polls and she's expected to put out her official policies soon, we'll see how they differ from Joe Biden. But as Harris continues to climb in the polls, industry observers are beginning to ask more questions. Would a Harris presidency include younger advisors and political appointees who are more open to cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology, unlike the old guard of Biden, Yellen, and Gensler? Now, you could say, don't focus on Kamala, just throw all your support behind Donald Trump. For me personally, I want to see crypto as a bipartisan issue, and with that competition, I believe both candidates will be more likely to pass pro-crypto regulation. And prominent political players like Vivek Ramaswamy, who is a Republican, believes that Kamala will eventually pivot and become more pro-crypto this year because in his opinion, it's not partisan and it's just smart.
There are those who argue, who think if you're a single voter on crypto, that this could lose her the election if she doesn't come out and embrace it. Look, Trump was all for the not taxing tips. Now she's all for. Do you think she will ultimately embrace crypto as an industry?
I predict her verbiage will. And I do think that part of the reason why is you see Trump's speech at the Bitcoin conference. It's just a matter of competing for votes that she's going to adopt a thoughtful position. Now, speaking as an American, not from a partisan perspective, I think that's a good thing. I think we should want great debate in the marketplace of ideas. Even if she offers a thoughtful digital assets framework or policy, even if I don't agree with all of it, I think that'll be a good thing for the country. But what I challenge Kamala Harris to do is not just cite the pieties in the words. Go into detail. Say what you actually believe about self-custody of assets. Say what you actually believe about whether you think Gary Gensler should continue as the leader of the SEC. So I think those specifics are going to matter a lot.
Now, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. Let's talk about Iran. Iran is offering a $20 bounty to snitch on illegal crypto miners. $20 for you to snitch. In addition, Iranian crypto exchange Bit24 reportedly leaks 230,000 users' KYC data, and Iranian-backed hacker is demanding 80 Bitcoin to anti-Israel ransom note. You know, the government of Iran has some problems. The people are good, but the government has some problems. El Salvador, the Bitcoin country, is building a Bitcoin city. They continue to double, triple, quadruple down on their Bitcoin investment in infrastructure in the asset itself. Check out the latest. El Salvador announces a $1.6 billion investment that will kickstart its Bitcoin city. El Salvador is getting a massive infrastructure investment that's expected to support the build-out of its visionary Bitcoin city. The government said Sunday that a Turkish holding company will invest $1.62 billion in two of El Salvador's seaports, marking the largest private investment in the country's history. Quote, this will be a mixed ownership company between the Yillport Company and El Salvador, which will operate both seaports for the next 50 years. This agreement is a product of Bukele's visit to Turkey in 2022. Bitcoin City was first pitched in November 2021 as a tax-free city that would fund itself through Bitcoin mining powered by its regional volcanoes rather than its civilian power grid. According to El Salvador's Bitcoin office website, the country currently holds 5,840 Bitcoin, currently worth around $345 million. It continues to add 1 Bitcoin to its holdings every day. You are going to hear a lot more about different countries buying Bitcoin this year and certainly for the next couple years. I happen to know for a fact, this is not public news yet, that there are very prominent, rich countries in the Middle East who are getting into Bitcoin and crypto in a big way. And you might hear certain countries, whether it's Dubai, whether it's Saudi Arabia, you know, countries in that area, the rich ones, they're going to come out in a big way later this year talking about how they're bullish. They have positions just like they have a lot of gold, just like they have a lot of money in general. They're going to be announcing that they own a lot of Bitcoin and crypto very soon. Stay subscribed. This is something we're going to continue to keep on your radar. The mainstream media never reports this. We do. See you tomorrow.